Yes, people, welcome back to the Shoestring Budget Podcast. My name is JD and I'll be your host today. Now, firstly, I just want to put it out there, I'm really sorry that we've not been able to push more content out over the last week or so. I've started a new job. I've been quite busy at this time of year. But we will be back very soon. We're going to be posting more scripted content, I think, over the next few weeks. But by the time the Premier League season rolls back around after the World Cup in Qatar, we will be back with the live streams. We'll be doing 3 or 4 shows a week. We'll be back to normal. So firstly, like I say, big apologies. Big up to Tom in the comments. Tom actually is going to be the one that is going to be putting out some content of his own. I'm going to be trying to get some videos done as well, but the live content for the foreseeable future will be stopped. But please keep a check out for our videos. Please keep liking. Please keep subscribing. I'm sorry if I sound a bit raspy today. I have been very, very busy. Been sort of working 12 to 13-hour days for the past few weeks. And I'm absolutely shattered. Now, I've not been watching Manchester United's news unfold on Internet Explorer, then all of a sudden realised that we are being sold and that Cristiano Ronaldo has been sacked, and I'm only just reacting to it now. That's not the case. Like I say, it's mainly been due to the fact that I've just been very, very busy, so I've not had a chance to talk about it yet. So, I mean, where do we start? We've got so much. We've got, obviously, Cristiano Ronaldo has now left the club, which I think is... Personally, I think it's the best thing that could happen, and so I'm personally happy that he's gone. I think it's the right thing for the club to move on. I think it's right for him to move on, and I wish him all the best for the future. Now, I know there's been a lot of division caused by his interview with Piers Morgan. I am firmly on the side of the club in regards to this. Well, I'm firmly on the side of Erik ten Hag, should I say. I think Ronaldo's right to call out all the problems at the club, but I think he did overstep the mark by bringing in the manager, and we've kind of addressed all that before in previous videos. But he is gone, and he will always be a legend. I think people that want to slander him are wrong to do so. I think people that want to slander Erik ten Hag are also wrong to do so. I just think there were two people that clashed, and that happens in football, and that happens with egos, and we move. Ronaldo's 37. Erik ten Hag's a new manager. You know, not really had anything or had much to prove yet. He's still finding his feet, still finding the right team, finding the balance, and it will come. So we have to support our manager. In the famous words of Sir Alex Ferguson, stand by your manager. Big up to Disguised Red Panda. Morning troops. Love that comment. Morning troops indeed. Now, moving on very swiftly, I didn't think much news would be happening during the World Cup, so when we couldn't do the live streams and when we couldn't do the videos, I wasn't too stressed, but then all of a sudden it all broke loose. Big up to Pete as well. It just all went mad, all went crazy. So on the day that Cristiano Ronaldo was effectively sacked, I think it's fair to say, by Manchester United, it was also revealed that the Glazers are finally selling the club. Buzzing, absolutely buzzing about that. I couldn't believe it. I actually fell asleep earlier that day. I wasn't feeling particularly well, and I woke up to countless messages that the Glazers were selling, and I didn't believe it. I thought either I was being trolled or it was just another news source that had broken that actually had no meaning to it, no substance. And then all of a sudden the floodgates opened and it was announced to the world that Manchester United were selling the club and looking at future owners to take over and to help finance the club. So I've got a few articles up that I've been reading. Sorry about the little jump there. So I've got my little Twitter page up, as you can see. Now there's a lot to talk about. Firstly, I mean this has been posted this morning from Matt Hughes, who I think works at the Daily Star, and it says here, Ed Woodward has been approached by groups seeking to buy Manchester United Football Club, asking him to act as a consultant for their potential purchase. Now, for those of you who don't remember, or for those of you that don't know, Ed Woodward was obviously the consultant for the Glazer family when they took over the club in 2005, so not really got a great track record. Now, obviously, there's a few names that have been chucked around. Well, there's actually been a lot of names that have been chucked around. So we've got Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Obviously, he came forward and this was sort of months in the works. He's been, well, maybe even last season, I think it was, he first came out and said that he was looking at buying Manchester United Football Club after failing to buy Chelsea. And then we've also got Apple, which shocked me a little bit, but we'll talk about them in a minute. Apple. Now, I'm not sure, as of the current live stream, if that deal is happening. There's been a few reports saying that Apple have actually not shown any interest, or they're pulling out of any potential deal that might be happening there. So we'll discuss that though. So there's Apple, there's Facebook, there's Amazon. So you've got big sort of corporations here that are getting involved on it. There was obviously Elon Musk's name chucked in there, but obviously he's just brought Twitter for 44 billion or whatever it was. So I doubt very much he's going to want to invest in another big brand, another big company to try and help them succeed when he's got Twitter on his hands that is, by all accounts, massively failing to the point he's had to sack all his staff. That's another story. Then you've got obviously the Saudi Arabians. The prince has come forward, one of the princes have come forward and said that they are looking at adding Manchester United and Liverpool to their portfolios. The funny thing is, and I've seen this tweeted a few times, and I think this is absolutely fantastic and just shows how big we are, despite the recent lack of success at the club. The fact that Manchester United have been on the market publicly for the last few days, and the amount of interest that has been generated. And you look at Liverpool last month before they were put on the market publicly, and it's been very quiet on that front. But Manchester United go on the market and it's all everybody is talking about, which shows we are just such a huge club. Despite Liverpool's recent success, despite Liverpool playing much better football than us over the last few years, and being on paper a much more successful club over the last 5 years than we have been, we're still the biggest brand. We are still the biggest team in the Premier League by far. And it's so nice to still know that we are the kings. We are just almost sleeping giants right now. Let's just have a look here. Tom's put, yeah, I'm new to this live streaming, so I have no idea. Don't worry, we'll get you up to scratch on that. Pete's put, so glad they're going. It makes me very happy. Just need to put the pressure on to make sure they go, though. If they find investments, they'll dig in and stay longer. Yeah, I think they will. I think there is always that possibility with the Glazers that if they can get someone that comes in with a 20 or a 30% bid, they can still technically have a big amount, if not majority ownership of the United. But from what I'm seeing, Pete, and what I'm seeing online and what I'm seeing on socials and obviously on the news, it doesn't look likely that Manchester United are going to have a part ownership with these people. They want full control or majority control of Manchester United. That's a real big positive. We can finally get these guys out of the club. You know, the numbers that have been banded around, I mean, it's just ridiculous. So I think I've seen as high as 7, maybe 8 billion for Manchester United. I've seen as low as 3 and 4 billion. Now you have to look at it. We weren't profitable last year. We actually made a net loss last year. I think it was like 500 million, half a billion. We lost last year. We are losing money massively. We need a huge investment, which the Glazers don't want to do. Old Trafford is just a state that needs massively refurbishing and redoing. It's a lot of money to get. You're going to have to pump a lot of money into Manchester United to make any money back from it. The fans aren't happy. The fans I would say, on massive stopped buying the merchandise. There's still your tourists and whatever that'll come and buy it, which you can't stop. But your fans, by and large, are very disgruntled. You've got all your sponsors being absolutely battered with emails from the 1958 group and people that are just disgruntled at the Glazers. You know, sponsors dropping out left, right and centre. You need to go. This is a big message, and I think this is why it's so important that we keep the pressure up. Pete's absolutely right. They're not gone yet, so let's not rest on our laurels. Big up to Asif as well. Nice to see you in the comments, my man. Nice to have you back. But who do you want? First question, who do you want to buy Manchester United? Now, I'm going to look at a few different options. So like I say, you've got Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who on paper is a nice buy. He's somebody that can come into the club, and he's got a decent amount of money, not the most amount. He's probably got the least amount of money out of all these people. I'm talking 10 billion his net worth is apparently, which obviously is more money than I'll ever make. But yeah, he's got 10 billion, and Manchester United, let's say, cost 5 to 6 billion. Half his net loss or half his net worth has just been slashed. The money that he can invest in the club. So on paper, Sir Jim is probably the nicest one to buy it in terms of its clean money. It's money that has been invested in pharmaceuticals. He's built up his net worth that way. I mean, I don't think having billions of pounds is a clean. I don't think it's a clean way of living or anything like that. I don't think anyone should be a billionaire in this day and age. But he's British. He's a United fan. I don't know if that even matters, but I get from his point of view, it's more of a passion project. It's something that's a legacy that he can leave behind when he goes, and it's something that people will remember him by. By buying Manchester United, you've got access to over 1 billion people. There's a reported 1 billion fans on the planet support Manchester United. Now, so I think on paper, Sir Jim is a beautiful buy, right? Then you've got Apple. Now, Apple are a bit of a dubious company. Obviously, American owners, make of that what you will. I'm literally on the fence with it. I don't think just because you're American or just because you're Saudi or just because you're English makes you right to buy a club. I don't believe that at all. But they are obviously American owned. They are a brand that have a lot of human rights issues as well. So less clean than I'd say Sir Jim. I would also say they have more money to invest. Now, they make a reported 300 billion, let's say, I think it is, 350 maybe billion profit every single year. Now, 5 billion is a splash. It's literally pocket change to these guys. They could afford to probably pump 10 billion into Manchester United. Again, they've got access to 1 billion fans. They can maybe do shirt sponsorships with Apple on it. They could maybe just blaze it all over the stadium. They could do up the stadium, make it a really nice, high-tech stadium. There's lots that Apple can do. Now, I'm a little confused in some ways as to why a tech giant like Apple would want to buy Manchester United. I don't really understand the logic there. But I suppose from a marketing point of view or an advertisement point of view, they've got a great point there. 1 billion people to all of a sudden know who Apple are, or to invest more in Apple because now they are Manchester United. But I just really want to know what you guys think more than anything. Tom put here, do you think they'll fix up our stadium or build a new one depending on who buys? I do think they'll have to. I think they'll do it depends who buys. So Jim comes in, Old Trafford will be revamped without a doubt. I don't think Sir Jim will move the club or will renovate it in that way that we have a brand new stadium. I just don't see it. I think because he understands the heritage and it becomes a bit more of a passion thing for him. Apple come in, I can really see us having a new stadium. I really can, and I would think it would be a state-of-the-art iOS mad stadium. Which on one hand is great because we'd all love a new stadium, but at the same time, Old Trafford is such a special place to so many people. Like, to me personally, I've been to Old Trafford so many times. I've been with people that are no longer here. I've been with my boy. It's somewhere that, I went with my dad, and and it's something that I want to take my kids and my grandkids to. It's a family, it's a passionate thing for me. But on the same hand, I'm like, we do need to move forward. We do need to move with the times. We can't always live in the past. We can't always live on history. We do have to make a new history now. And I think 10 years, 11 years without winning anything substantial other than maybe the Europa League, if you can count that, I don't think that's really at our level, or the level that I want us to be at. I want us to be winning Champions League, Premier Leagues, things like that, not Europa Leagues or FA Cups or League Cups. For me, no, they're not Manchester United. And I think a way you could really set a new standard at the club is by building a new stadium, making us move there, and we can become a brand new identity. And I think that's what Manchester United have been lacking over the last few years. So, good question. This guy's Red Panda put Ryan Reynolds to buy Manchester United. I think he's too busy with Wrexham, but yeah, we'll definitely try and get him on board. I'd love Ryan Reynolds. I think he's great. He obviously did a big campaign with Deadpool and Manchester United a few years ago. If you haven't seen that advert, check it out. It's fantastic. Assis put here, someone who never has to compromise or has to be PR dependent with footballing passion. Yeah, that's a good point, Asif. Yeah, I agree. It would be nice to have someone that you can just call a spade, say it how it is, not have to buy players that help shirt sales, that's where we've been going wrong over these last few years. Angel Di Maria, we signed him, on paper, decent signing, but not what we really needed. I can't really think of anyone other than maybe Bruno. In recent years, anyway, up until Eric Ten Hag came in, I can't really think of anyone other than Bruno that we've signed that's actually... maybe Diogo Dalot as well now, maybe. But every other signing has been a passion signing or a signing for shirt sales or the signing on the back of a little bit of hype. Aaron Wan-Bissaka got a little bit of hype. We signed him, spent way more than we should have. But yeah, I would like someone that would make proper footballing decisions and not just commercial decisions. I do realise and appreciate there has to be a balance between the two, but I would love to see someone that can come in and offer a balanced view, not just commercial, not just football. Tom put here, I think if Apple buy, they'd build a new stadium. It'd be advertisement for them. I agree, Tom. I think Apple would be the ones, maybe the Saudis as well. Maybe the Saudis. Look what they've done at the Etihad. Abu Dhabi, but sort of the Far East, the Far Eastern countries that have brought Premier League teams. I think Newcastle will eventually get a new stadium or a revamp. The bigger they get, the Etihad that the Abu Dhabi group have built for Man City and the surrounding area, the infrastructure that they've built around Manchester City is unreal. Like, I can't stand Man City. I freaking hate them, but I can't deny there's no point in denying the work that the owners have put into the city of Manchester, the surrounding area. I stayed in a hotel about 10-minute walk from the Etihad only about 4 months ago, and the whole area is just so nice, and it's all been invested in with the Manchester City Council and Manchester Council rather, and the Abu Dhabi group. They've done well. They've built that area up so nice, and if we could get owners in that could not only build our stadium but can help really invest back into Manchester, because we all know it's the best city in the world, so they can invest into the city, make it nice, make it livable, make it safe, make it good. I'm all for that. But yeah, I don't know why I was going off on that one, but yeah, just made me think of it. Assis put here, Apple is exploring different business options nowadays. They soon will be into electric car business and not in the sports business. It's something which will never fade. So Apple, from what I've heard, so while we're all talking about Apple, there's something that came out earlier today that Apple aren't actually interested in buying Manchester United or have pulled out for any potential deal. Now, I can't remember the guy. It was someone I read. It was like one of these, what are they called? Apple nerds, Apple reporters. Let's have a look here. I put Apple not buying United. Bet nothing will come up now. Here you go, Ben Jacobs. Now, Ben Jacobs. Oh, this is a different guy. The one I read earlier was actually somebody that reports solely on Apple, and this one here, Ben Jacobs, is from CBSS Sports. Make of that what you will. Apple have no interest in buying Manchester United. Reports they will bid are not true. Don't know what kind of record he has. Can't speak on his past tweets or anything like that. But there has been a few reports coming out from big Twitter people that Apple aren't going to be buying Manchester United. I'm a little bit gutted because I think out of all of them, out of Amazon, I would like Amazon in a way. Amazon are pretty good. They're a big company, got a lot of money, and I think it would be a good investment for them to have on their portfolio. You also have Facebook. I would not want Facebook anywhere near Manchester United. They've got cash, but Zuckerberg's focused mainly on the metaverse. Now, on that note, very briefly, Manchester City are trying to build their own metaverse in the VR space. They have been for the past few seasons now, past few years. They have actually got a department that works in virtual reality that they want to bring City fans together. There are 10 of them that exist, and none of which can afford a VR headset. But that's what they're trying to do. They are trying to invest in a metaverse of some sort, which is crazy. You should look into the Man City metaverse. So Facebook isn't out of the realms of possibility, but I would not want them. I don't think Facebook are the right company. The ones that I think we'll end up with, and I'm a bit mixed on it, but I think it's these guys here, the Saudis. Now, like I said, the Prince came out yesterday, did an interview. If you've not seen it, it is on BBC Sport. Check it out, or you can check it out on Sky Sports News, which is where I saw it. And Saudi Arabia have basically said they would definitely support a bid to buy both Manchester United and Liverpool. Obviously, it'd be two separate companies that own them. It wouldn't just be, one investment. It would be their investors, two different companies, effectively, that would be buying both clubs. Now, the prices that have been valuated, we're about 2 billion higher than Liverpool, which I'm not surprised at, really. But they've obviously got Newcastle. They're saying it's the most watched league in Saudi Arabia. Now, this is where I'm really conflicted, because like I said this a few months ago, when the Glazers took over Manchester United, when the Glazers were first leaked that they were looking at selling, which was months ago, so that fallacy that Ronaldo's responsible for all this is a complete joke, no. But when they first started looking at options of selling the club, I was so mixed on whether or not I'd want oil money, because of the amount of grief we've given people like Newcastle and certainly Manchester City over the years, that they are just an oil club. But on the other hand, I'm like, we have to take this investment. We have to take somebody. It's going to take someone like the Saudis to put us on the same level as the Abu Dhabi group. We can't compete with the likes of Newcastle over the next 10 years, the likes of City now, Liverpool potentially over the next few years. We can't compete with Sir Jim Ratcliffe. We really can't. And Mark Goldbridge spoke about this yesterday or the day before really beautifully. He put it really nicely. And when you look at it factually, you have to look at, do we want a nice owner? Do we want somebody with a little bit of money? I say a little bit, 10 billion, not a little bit, but you know what I mean? Or less money than the others? Do we want someone like that who can come into the club and bring a little bit of positivity? There's not so many sort of negative connotations to them, like Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Or do you want someone like the Saudis, the oil money, the fossil money built on fossil fuel that's destroying the environment, etc., etc.? Do we overlook that and take that investment? Does it become about politics, or does it become about football? It's a really difficult one, believe it or not. On one hand, I'm totally up for Sir Jim. I really personally would prefer Sir Jim, but then I don't think we could compete with Man City or Newcastle. Newcastle over the next 10 years, I mean, they are going to be next level, aren't they, really? But I don't know. Whenever renovate or rebuild, I don't want our Old Trafford name changed. The old lady smells nice and sweetness of legacy. Yeah, I get that, Asif. I'm the same. Like I said, I'm very much. I've been to Old Trafford countless times. I love it. It's somewhere that I went with my dad. He went with his dad. I'm going with my boy. It's for me, it's like a personal, passionate thing. It's it's almost part of the family. It's a family rite of passage. So I get that, but on the same side, I do look at it and go, we do need to move forward now. Old Trafford was Sir Alex Ferguson. It was the Busby Boys. It was all of that, and that will never go, that will never die. But we've not lived up to that legacy, for me anyway, since Sir Alex Ferguson left, 10, 11 years ago. We've not lived up to them heights. And the stadium's falling apart. I wouldn't be completely opposed to us getting a new stadium, but I do understand the emotional side of it. I really do, because I feel it as well. I really feel like it as well. I think if Amazon buy, all United games would be streamed on Prime Video, and I'm not against that, to be honest. I hear that. Just think how much money they'd make back off United buying the Amazon Prime. Wow. And the thing is, if someone like Amazon were to buy it, they could do the Amazon Prime on their shirts, all that malarkey. To be fair, I don't think it's a bad idea for Amazon in many ways. And again, it's the advertisement. 1 billion fans straight away. It's a lot less than you'd be paying for your advertisement over the course of a couple of years. If you're in Manchester United, you've also got the image to the club, the biggest club in the world, or one of the biggest clubs in the world. It's almost free advertisement at that point. Saudis are a big football lovers. The oil money is something which will bring everything our club needs. That's the truth, Asif. That is absolutely the truth. And again, I am a bit conflicted because, you know, the amount of grief over the last 10 years we've given the likes of Man City just being an oil club. The fact that Newcastle, they've only just been brought, and we've only seen a little snippet of what they've got, and we're already calling them an oil club. I don't know, there's something that doesn't sit quite right with me, but you're absolutely right. The only way we can compete is with that oil money. So it's kind of like selling your soul a little bit, or is it? I don't know. Just for me, something doesn't sit right. Something doesn't sit right. We want somebody who's passionate about the sport and the club, who wants to see us win and will be successful. Financial backing is key. It all depends on... all I want is somebody that's going to invest in the club, effectively. That's all I can really ask for, is that we get someone that's going to actually help the club move in the right direction and not just rinse it and take it apart for their own financial gain. That's the only thing. Build up the brand. You know, there's so much money that can be made in football. Build up the brand. The Glazers have sucked everything that was built up over years and years and years of hard work. They've sucked it out the club. We need someone to put that money in and more, and then let it grow. Back Erik ten Hag. He is without a doubt the right man for the job. Back him. Get him some good signings. We need obviously a new striker in January. We'll talk about that in a minute. Don't let me forget. And we just need somebody that's going to really push this club in the right direction, because we are all over the place. We're lost. We're lost, and we're only getting further behind. If Saudis go and buy Liverpool and we get bought by Sir Jim, although sentimentality, that is nice. We're bought by a United fan, somebody that gets the club and the history. It's almost like poetic, but at the same time, we can't then compete with the likes of Man City, Liverpool and Newcastle. Certainly if Liverpool are brought by the Saudis, I mean, if we're not and they are, we're going to be so far behind both of them. You know, if Liverpool can offer $1 million more than us, they will get them. Like a player that we want. Most players would likely choose Jurgen Klopp, Liverpool right now. Maybe not right now, but over the last year at least. They would rather go there than Manchester United, who are fifth, finished fifth last year, currently sat fifth, in a bit of a wobbly situation. So, yeah, it's a difficult one. As it's put here, it's not about selling our souls, it's what it takes to be on top. It's a real difficult one, because I can understand both schools of thought. I can understand the school of thought that says we want it to be a little bit clean. I can also understand the side of it that says someone being a billionaire, it's not clean to be a billionaire. And I also get the point of view that in order to be on top, we do need to have that investment. And that is the sad reality of it, whichever way you look at it. We'd probably more than likely need the Saudis or someone from Abu Dhabi, someone from the Far East with that oil money who can just pump it all into United and let us prosper again. The club needs more than a 7/8 billion. There's loads of work needed at Old Trafford and Carrington. Then players spending. Sir Jim might not be enough with the 10 billion worth. That's my assessment. I might be wrong. No, as we've said, I think you missed maybe my opening gambit there, Asif, my opening preamble, where I said that Sir Jim might not be the right choice. You know, net worth of 10 billion, however disgustingly amazing that is for him. When you're looking at buying a club for 5 billion, that's your net worth slashed. I say your net worth because you still got the club, so you're not really losing anything. But the money that you can personally invest decreases significantly. Manchester United is a club that can fund itself. We've proven that historically we can fund ourselves. It's only because of the protests and because of the attack on the sponsorships that we are starting to see money leak out of the club now. I really believe that. If United aren't sold by January, I really don't see the Glazers spending in the window on a new striker. Why would they? So, since the news has become public, which was Monday night I think it was, the club has actually made, or has risen up about 300 million on the stock exchange. They have made or they have generated more interest and more investment in the stock exchange since Monday than they have for maybe a year prior. So the fact is that if you sign a striker, you can then add that valuation to the club. So that, I don't think it's necessarily we're not going to sign anyone. There was obviously talk at the start of the season. This is something to remember as well. There was talk at the start of the season about the Glazers leaving, and then all of a sudden we spent 60 million on Casemiro and 80 million on Anthony, and everyone was like, well, why have they done that? It increases the value of the club. That money hasn't come from the Glazers' personal pocket. That has come from Manchester United. Now, if they're going to sell, they might as well spend 30, 40 million, get Cody Gakpo in. They can add 50, 60 million onto the bill for Manchester United when they sell the club. They make that money back personally because they've brought an asset for that club. So it does make sense, because the thing is with the Glazers, they're not like any other owners. They don't put their own money into the club. The money is solely generated by Manchester United Football Club, not the Glazers. That is the main reason why we want them out. So although I see what you're trying to say, I understand the point you're making, it's not true with Manchester United how we're currently structured. It's not, just because, as I've said, the Glazers do not put any of their personal wealth into the club. They just extract from it, which is why I am so flipping happy that they're going. And we can look at starting to compete. Now, on that note, I think that's a good segue. I'm not going to keep you all long. It's already been half an hour. This is the first one I've done in weeks, so I'm a little bit rusty. Who are we going to sign in January? Who are we going to sign now? There is talks that Cody Gakpo is going to be made available by PSV if we do want to sign him in January for around 40 to 45 million, either euros or pounds. I think it's pounds. Now, for me, obviously, you all know that's my choice. That's who I want. But who do you guys want? Let me know in the comments. I think Cody Gakpo's going to be the only one that really is at a high enough level to sign. There's also Memphis Depay from Barcelona, Memphis. He's available for free. I believe we could get him for free in January. There is Choupo-Moting, who's obviously been heavily linked with Manchester United. We could look at effectively signing him again. But I don't know where we're going. I don't know who we're going to sign. I would love it to be Cody Gakpo. Let me know what you guys think. I'm just going to have a quick look at our Twitter poll that we did earlier today, just to see what it's at. So I actually asked the question earlier, who would you want to sign, or who would you want to buy Manchester United? And so we've had 19 votes. 42% of you guys have voted for the Saudis to buy Manchester United. 21% was Sir Jim, and 36.8% want Apple, Amazon or Facebook, so one of the corporations, to buy us. So Sir Jim, despite being our glimmer of hope a few months ago, has almost become the least favourite in the fans' eyes. I think at one point, it's just changed now up to 20, so didn't know it was live. So Sir Jim has gone up to 25. So there you go, Sir Jim has actually gained a little bit of popularity since we have been streaming. So Jim was, like I said, he was a glimmer of hope. He was the one that we were looking at signing and we wanted to bring into the club. And then all of a sudden, that has massively dropped now that the Saudis are involved. 40% of you want the Saudis. And I can understand that school of thought. I really can. You know, at the end of the day, that's where the money is. That is where the money is. I'll do another poll on Twitter to see who you guys want Manchester United to sign in January. Maybe that is another video that we do. But for me, that is everything that I have as of yet. There will be more coming out throughout the course of the day. I'm not going to be free for the rest of the day now. I'm actually going on a train up in the mountains in the next half an hour. And I'm literally not even near much technology. I come home 11, 12 o'clock tonight and it all comes out. But we will do our best to keep you updated on everything, and like I say, sorry that we've not been able to put more content out. Big up to everyone that's joined us this morning, either if you're watching or if you're in the comments. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're about 24 subscribers off our first 100. If you could please share the video, get some people, any United fans, just tell them, drop a subscribe and a like on some of our videos, join in the chat, join in the community a bit more. We are gifting a limited edition Ajax shirt in commemoration of the most amazing manager that we've had, in my opinion, since Sir Alex Ferguson, which is Erik ten Hag. And we are gifting that away for, once we hit 100 subscribers, we'll pick a name out at random and you are in with a chance of winning that limited 3 birds Ajax shirt. So Asif has put here, Tom, it will take ages to sell the club with the paperwork and other accounts related formalities. If the selling process starts now, it have started before the public announcement. Yes, I think it will be a very quick. I think we'll be surprised how swiftly this deal is done. I really do. I think this can be drilled out, nailed out, very, very straightforward, in a similar way to how Chelsea was bought. Now, Chelsea was bought under different circumstances because of the war in Ukraine and the pressure on the oligarchs that was put on by the UK government. I get that, but that deal took next to no time. It took a few weeks and it was done. There's no reason why Manchester United can't be brought in a similar time frame by maybe the end of January, or even, well, without a doubt, by the end of the season. We are seeing the last days of the Glazers, without a doubt. But big up to everyone in the comments. My name is JD. I'm your host as always, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.